What is going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Happy 10-Bip Live. Welcome back. We are here. We are live. We are alive. It is a beautiful Thursday evening here in Lexington, Kentucky. And I hope you are having a fantastic one. What a week. What a week it has been. I tell you what, if you haven't listened to this week's episode of the podcast, please go and do so. If you're watching on the replay, hit the like button. And if you haven't done so yet, please also subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on Twitch and you haven't done so, please subscribe. You get access to things like this poppy seed in my mouth. No, that's not true. You get access to things like ad-free viewing, me saying hi to Mike Meyer. Cheers to you, buddy. Good to see you. You get our emotes. And you get to support the show. And Sugar Kitty's here. Hashtag multitasking. Meow to you too, friend. Will it RIP Evan edition? Yeah. I would not be surprised. We will have a toast to Evan here in a little bit as well. One of the guiding lights in the bourbon revival in the 80s. What a massive loss for the bourbon world. Limited run, 500 MSRP, 94 proof, aged 8 years. I mean, it's possible. But regardless, we'll get there. Personal news-wise, things that have been going on in my life. Tony Bag of Donuts. Hello, Tim Bippers and Nets around the world. Good to see you, Tony. Hope you're feeling better. Things that have been going on. I've got 2 children now who have an actual age. I don't have to talk about one of them in terms of months anymore. That's right. My youngest had her first birthday on Tuesday. Miss Ella. And so I feel old. Thank you. And Eden's going to be 5 next month. Thank you, Tony. But it's a very strange feeling. Got a little emotional this week. Don't feel like she's supposed to be 1 yet. It's quite odd. Uh-oh. I think I need an OBS update. It keeps keep having a little bit of, not necessarily crashing, but it's not. Oh, there is a new update available. I'll have to take care of that later. About 20 years behind me then. Hey, that's fair. I am, in fact, only 32. How could you allow your baby girl to age? It makes me sad that either of my children are getting older. The gray hairs are popping up more and more every single day, my friend. It is a bummer. But I still have a hell of a cough, upper respiratory. But when I'm not hacking up a lung, I feel much better. Congrats on breaching the first year. Only 60 more years to worry about them. Fair. I'll be happy to see 60 more years, man. Wouldn't that be nice? So if you remember last week, I was talking about how I didn't have, and I talked about this some on the Patreon too. I was talking about how I didn't have my voice. And I think I might have been a little bit sick. Like, I never truly felt bad, but I also never, like I had drainage, I had a little bit of a cough, my throat felt kind of just raw for about a week after Bourbon and Beyond, and then Sunday night, I just, like, got my voice back, and I don't know what it was, but, you know, I talked about it last week where I was doing more projection than normal, and it just yeah, I feel like myself again. But Tony, I do hope you get to feeling better sooner than later, my friend. Cheers, y'all. Cheers to you, Joe the Sample Guy. But let's get things going. With a little Willet small batch rye, the barrel proof, family estate. This is 114.6 proof. I tell my wife all the time I have a little drainage. Ayo. Uh, 4 years, 114.6 proof. Still a great pour. I'm assuming you're asking me how old the rye is, and not how old Shy Guy's wife is. Tony. But yes, this is the 4-year, just kind of shelf stable offering. I wasn't going too crazy. Also later in the episode, or later in the stream, we're going to be reviewing the new lineup from Three Chord Bourbon. Got the shirt on because I got one from them at Bourbon and Beyond, from Ed and Ryan. They were super sweet, and it was very kind of them to do that. We'll get into that later. But also, if you want to support the show while it is happening live in front of your eyes, you can head to the link that is pinned at the top of your comments, or by heading to the Stream Elements link that is in the description below and donating to the show via what we call Snuffy Chats. They are named after the patron saint of Tim Pip Live. It's Mr. Snuffleupagus back here. I believe you believe. We all see him with our own two very eyes. Snuffy. He's our boy. I'm all out of Willet. I'm sorry about that. Oh, and the reason that we do Super Chats this way is because we don't have them set up on YouTube, and it just makes for easy donation on Twitch. But also, if you're watching on Twitch, you can subscribe to the channel and support the show that way. Be a subscriber, get emotes, ad-free viewing, all that good stuff. But we are kicking off the stream this week with the sad news. Let me get all my buttons set up the right way. And dadgummit. I show one Joe is hungry video and everything gets messed up. No Joe is hungry tonight. We've got too much to get to. Evan Kulsveen of Willet passed away this week. He brought back Willet in Bardstown, kind of resurrecting American whiskey. Snuffy is hangry. Snuffy's not been fed in over a month, which is crazy. Evan was 20. Excuse me, he was not 23. He died on the 23rd. He was 79. He was Norwegian. Sorry, my brain just fried for a second. I don't know why. I just completely lost my train of thought. Okay. When the bourbon industry entered its slowdown in the 80s, Willet was shuttered. Kulsveen gained ownership of the property in 1984. Although the stills were silent, Kulsveen used the space to become an independent bottler, and he was way ahead of his time in spotting the opportunities to buy quality aged bourbon amid the glut. By 1991, he was doing a brisk business selling bourbon in bottles and ceramic decanters, almost all of it for export markets, mainly Japan. With this operation, Kulsveen would remain the distillery's name as a legendary independent bottler, most notably with its single-barrel releases sold under the Willet Family Estate label. Those and other Willet bottlings remain highly valued collectibles to this day, with the Willet Family Estate 22-year-old selling for $15,000 at a Unicorn Auctions sale last year. So, hey, Darren, what's going on, buddy? It is good to see you, man. Hope you've been well. How are things? He also had a vision of reviving Willet as a distiller and a tourist destination. Distilling started in 2012, and it's run by Britt and Drew, their children. And, of course, the rest is history. But let's dive into a bit more of why Evan's passing is sad, but also it's worth it to celebrate the life that he lived and the fact that he dedicated it to whiskey during this time period, of course. And I mean, it's not something that most people in this chat, most people who watch these streams don't know, but of course, during the 80s, the 70s and 80s, bourbon entered a slump period where clear spirits were becoming more popular as counterculture was becoming more popular, and people were more interested in rejecting the notion of what it was that their parents and their grandparents had made popular. So with that came brown spirits, because it was seen as what was most popular with old farts. So with that, it didn't necessarily lose popularity overseas. It was primarily an American market slowdown. So to have somebody like Evan still trying to revitalize Willet and the American whiskey brand during the 80s is not an insignificant contribution to the industry overall. And it's fascinating to dive into it a little bit more. Doing well, just toured Willet about a month ago for the first time. It is beautiful. I haven't toured Willet since the early days of my bourbon journey. I need to do that again sometime. But to Evan, to Willet, cheers to him. Cheers to the fact that we still have a robust American whiskey industry to this day. And, yeah. That is, in fact, minty. Their stuff has gotten better. I definitely agree with that. This 4-year... The 4-year rye is so good. Just exactly what it needs to be, I feel like. Let's keep it rolling. And, of course, our thoughts are with the Kulsveen family. Never did I ever think I would see the day where there would be buyouts in the bourbon industry, but here we are, I suppose. Black Star Company saves Black Button Distilling. This is the New York-based distilling company that went into bankruptcy earlier this year. Black Star Company decided to purchase them. Black Button was founded in 2012 and was the first craft distillery to open in Rochester, New York since Prohibition. This is coming from what is that? Sorry. This is coming from Black Star co-founder Chris Comstock. I was heartbroken to hear Black Button was closing and saw the community's outpouring of support on social media. I'm thrilled about this partnership as I have tremendous respect for Jason as a person and master distiller. Black Button Distilling has established a solid foundation across New York. With their award-winning products, we look forward to building on that foundation as we expand the business. Jason Barrett, president, master distiller, Black Button Distilling, said, although this is bittersweet, I'm happy that the distillery will remain open and our team will stay in place. I've known Chris for several years and have the utmost respect for his ability to build brands. I feel that Black Button is in great hands, but neither me nor my team is going anywhere. We will still run the day-to-day operations as always, but now have extra help and industry expertise from Black Star. I'm very excited for the future of Black Button Distilling. So, as you can tell, Jason's not going anywhere. For better or worse, Breaking Bourbon also notes that they have 9 full-time employees, so not a massive team that they were having to replace anyway. But not really sure how much they were in for. Off the top of my head, this was not one of the distilleries that was necessarily on my radar as far as like the deep dive that I did a while back on distilleries that had gone under or were in the process of going under. But this is not a bad thing. I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate by saying they were being bailed out. Any chance that you can have to actually, keep a smaller distillery afloat is good. So I hope they're able to work it out. I hope they're able to keep their head above water moving forward as well. We shall see. Narragansett Beer and Wheelhorse Whiskey team up for limited barrel-aged releases. Now, I put this on here because I am a fan of Narragansett Beer. I don't know what this is going to look like as a product. I don't think I've ever had Wheelhorse before. Has anybody in the chat had Wheelhorse? And if so, what is your experience with it? I'm curious. They're going to have a barrel-aged porter and a porter beer finished bourbon whiskey. Seems pretty natural. Anytime a brewery and a distillery team up, that's just kind of how it goes, unless you've got a brewery that makes that operates as a distillery and vice versa. This collaboration goes beyond a simple barrel swap, with histories tracing back to the late 1800s. Narragansett Brewing Company, founded in 1890, and Wheelhorse, distilled at Kentucky's Green River Distilling Company since 1885. The partnership honors their parallel legacies while bridging beer and whiskey in a true back-and-forth exchange. So it's just Green River. So it's just Green River. Excuse me. The porter is going to be 9.8% ABV. It's a dark, velvety lager aged in freshly emptied Wheelhorse bourbon barrels. Brewed with locally malted barley from Stone Path and layered with roasted malts. And then the barrels went back to Wheelhorse with bourbon that was already 4 years old, and it was finished for another 4 to 5 months, and it's going to be 101 proof. So I need to get my hands on this. I need to get my hands on this. We got to figure it out. We got to find some. This is going to be a great. I mean, I don't know what it's going to be like, but I hope it's going to be good. I checked out this TTB label somewhat recently, but Barrel Craft Spirits has a 12-year French oak cask bourbon coming out. Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, and Wyoming bourbons blended and then aged in French oak barrels. It's going to be 108.5 proof and $160. It seems a bit pricey for what this is, but we'll see. I love a good porter. Matt, Chris, and the beer too. All good things. Look, this is not necessarily the news that you want to see. I love a good swap. Barrels too. Am I on a... Something's telling me that there might be a bit of a delay. Which is okay. Also, I just realized I typed out sniffy chats instead of snuffy chats. It's good. Hang on. Let me fix that. Oh my goodness. There we go. Now I don't look like an idiot. This story made my heart skip a little and my stomach drop as we have a friend at Balcones. Luckily, she was specifically named as one who was staying on during this pause in production. Well, that's good. That's good. Now, I think it's pronounced Balcones. I always say Balcones. I'm sorry. Either way, this is not a particularly good story, but it is one that I wanted to make sure got covered. In yet sniffy chats, I'll allow it. That's fair. In yet another installment in the ongoing tragedies, travesties. I am saying it correctly. It was Emma. Yeah, look at that. Balcones. Okay. Ongoing travesties of distilleries either shuttering, ceasing production, or facing financial troubles that just they can't seem to. It just seems like it's never going to end. But regardless, Diageo has halted production at Balcones and George Dickel with the loss of 17 jobs as it reevaluates its production goals. Now, it feels like Dickel-less Balcones. It feels like the Dickel part of this story has gotten a little bit buried behind Balcones. but we'll just kind of go through this and we'll dissect it as best we can. I'm drinking some Moondrops bourbon barrel pick tonight. What is that? Sugar Kitty, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I think this is yet another instance where we are Indiana Distillery. Okay. We are seeing people trying to stretch dollars and pinch pennies as far as they can in order to make some of their investments work as best as possible. But let's get into it. Distilling and barrel filling operations at BALCONES Distillery in Waco, Texas were halted in August with 17 rolls impacted by the pause. This happened in August and we're just now hearing about it. Meanwhile, the Cascade Hollow Distillery at Diageo's Tullahoma facility in Tennessee, which produces George Dickel whiskey, has also been temporarily closed with no job losses. The visitor centers at both distilleries remain open for tours and tastings. A spokesperson for Diageo North America said, every year we run standard temporary slowdowns or shutdowns across our operations to support our efficiency and productivity goals. Now, that may be true. However, shutdowns at distilleries usually happen in the hottest portions of the year, which is, of course, hottest and coldest, which, of course, would happen, earlier in the year when it's in the absolute brunt of summer, or later in the year when it's at its coldest. Diageo had already hamstringed BALCONES years ago, but directly them to only produce single malts with an occasional foray into special stuff. Originally bought large amounts of BALCONES bourbon and rye when it was announced that Diageo was only allowing them to produce malts. So this spokesperson speak is ludicrous to me, and is just an easy way to deflect away from what they are actually doing, which is saying, hey, we're trying to figure out how we can save ourselves money, and we're firing people. Since we're ahead of schedule with the volume we produce at the site this year, we decided to temporarily pause our distilling operations and barrel filling activity through June 2026. I don't know how much I believe that. Again, that seems like corpo speak. During this time, employees will work on strategic products, conduct trainings to continue building capabilities and maintenance processes to position our sites for a successful start of our next fiscal year. The move follows the extended pause on distillation earlier this year at Diageo's Dublin Distillery, Rowe & Co., which prompted the departure of master distiller Laura Hemme. Diageo also pauses production at Tiananek, Scottish distillery. It's the only Scotch distillery in Diageo's portfolio that will be affected by the production slowdown. Anyway, Ludacris is working for Diageo now. The rapping and acting didn't work out. Man, it's not that it didn't work out. He just, he needed another feather in his cap. I just put into context and knowing how distilleries actually operate, I really don't believe that they're saying what they're saying, which is that this is for actual distillery production. Something smells fishy about this, and it's not the wee woo speculation alert alarm bells are going off, and I don't like what this is. I don't like the way this smells. It is encouraging, however, that A, Dickel is not firing anybody. B, it is encouraging that BALCONES is it's setting a goal for when they are going to reopen for production. However, the same thing happened with Garrett County Distilling. That being said, that was a much different situation, so I'm not going to equivocate the two. All that being said, though, it's tannic used in blending, but a great distillery when other bottlers source it can be a very good bottle. Interesting. All that being said, though, it stinks to high heaven, is what I will say. On the flip side of that, it seems like Buffalo Trace is doing all right. After they stopped production during the insane flooding that they had earlier this year, which we covered pretty extensively on stream. And as you can see from this image here, this was the highest that the flood waters have ever gotten at the distillery. Is this a video? It is a video. Hang on. Let's see.
You can see that high water mark even exceeding the 1978 flood. So we saw over 48 feet of water here inside this space.
This distillery's been through a lot of other floods, 30s, 70s, recently now. And importantly, Prohibition, right? At a time when it was illegal, this distillery was making medicinal whiskey. So it navigated that. It's navigated, just a lot of other things. There's been a tornado here.
It was just defeating to watch all of this flooding and to realize that we were going to be down for a while. So just the impact.
Danny Kahn is the distillation operation manager at Buffalo Trace now? When did that happen?
Just the apprehension of how much work this is going to be to fix. Again, thinking back to that time, which I have been trying to forget, we relied on people that had knowledge on certain parts, and we encouraged each other. And it was tough. It was pretty overwhelming.
Of course, they had to show Blanton's. Anyway, 5 months later, production at the distillery is back to normal, including some of the most sought-after bourbons. The distillery recently filled its 9 millionth barrel of bourbon since Prohibition, just 2.5 years since filling the 8 millionth barrel. It has also introduced 2 new whiskeys to its catalog and is renovating a campus building into a cafe and event center. Cleanup enlisted hundreds of plant employees and contract workers. Buffalo Trace fans swamped the distillery with offers to pitch in. The distillery politely declined and suggested they might assist area residents instead. Okay. Well, that's great. That's somebody just riding on a little raft around. Danny Kahn joined in 2021? Really? That's outdated. His LinkedIn just says Sazerac. Because, I mean, all I've ever known him as is the master distiller at 1792. Or Barton, I guess. Yeah, but if he joined Buffalo Trace in 2021, I don't doubt you. Few visible reminders remain of that mud cake debris strewn mess. Some filled whiskey barrels touched by floodwaters were still being cleaned and tested, but the meticulous task of examining thousands of barrels was nearly complete. The distillery said, I know he's head of Barton, but it's just, I didn't realize that he was also a master distiller at Buffalo Trace, too. High water marks are etched into some buildings, and tour guides casually remind visitors of the epic events. Still experiences a little PTSD. Please go away. But yeah, it just seems like they're back on track, according to AP. Moving right along, there is a new experimental distillery series release from Jack Daniel's. It is the Sweet Mash Tennessee whiskey that we saw the TTB label for not too terribly long ago. So if we take our tour of Buffalo Trace, can we stand in the middle of the distillery and scream, "Con!" This is number 15. And it also is going to be distillery only. It features the traditional mash bill, 80% corn, 12% malted barley, and 80% rye, and it's going to be 117 proof. I am hoping, with my fingers crossed, I'm going to get to review this soon because I'm very, very interested and excited about this. $45 a bottle. Again, it's in a 375. This is what it looks like. It's birdie. We got the new Booker's batch on the way. Announced today. Jerry's batch, honoring former master distillery Jerry Dalton. Fred No stated, "For years, I just assumed Jerry was already part of the Bourbon Hall of Fame, but he only got inducted last summer. He's a real humble guy who never liked making too much of a fuss, but he's damn worth celebrating. Beam wouldn't be what it is without him, and I couldn't be prouder to honor him with this batch." 124.7 proof, 7 years, 4 months, and 21 days. And, of course, $100. Oy. Comes barrels from warehouses 134G. What does water fill mean? What is that? What is water fill? The nerd in me would love to do a direct comparison of a sweet and sour mash with the same mash bill from the same distillery. Well, if you get this Jack Daniel's, you could basically do that. Because it's the same mash bill. I mean, there's no reason not to, not to be able to. The only difference would really be the proof, because I don't know of any other Jack Daniel's barrel proof products that are 117 proof. Anyway, K, L, O, X, and Z are the other rick houses. I just want to know what water fill means. Waterfill and Fraser. Wait, is it a different distillery that Waterfill might be a different distillery that Beam has a rick house for. I don't know. I'll have to look into it a little bit more. Moving right along. I missed this because I was at Bourbon and Beyond, and I'm not going to go too far back in the news because there's way too much that we still have to cover this evening. But Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Rye is coming out soon. I just hope it's good. More than anything, I just hope it's good. Okay? That's the only thing I want. I know it's going to be pretty affordable. I think I talked about it a little bit last week. It's their mash bill that's 51% rye, 35% corn, 14% malted barley. Going to have 3 annual releases just like the barrel proof bourbons. And the first one is going to be 12 years, 3 months, and 108 proof. It's going to be $75. I don't think that's the worst price. I don't. However, last week, when I reviewed the Bernheim barrel proof wheat whiskey, that was B524 or B924, whatever the heck. That's right next to me. B925, sorry. I did not care for it in the slightest. I don't have a lot of experience with barrel proof rye from Elijah Craig. So I'm a little hesitant to say whether or not this is going to be out of this world. I have high hopes because I love their rye. But I'm reserving judgment until I actually get to try it. So, we'll see. We'll see. Also, this is one of the only other pieces from like earlier that I wanted to touch on. But there's a brand new permanent edition for 1792 that's going to be coming out soon. Elijah Craig rye is so good, I can't wait. I mean, I love regular Elijah Craig rye too. I'm looking forward to seeing what this is like, but I'm still a little hesitant. I've been done with those Bernheims since the first year. It's just not worth it. They're just all bad. I bet that Timbip guy will hate it because he has bad tastes. Oh, he has the worst tastes. Will hate it because he has bad. Uh-oh. Everything's messing up. Anyway. It's the first cask finished expression in its permanent portfolio. It uses the same mash bill fermentation and distillation process as 1792 small batch bourbon, and then it's just aged in cognac barrels. 95 proof, and it's available now for $38. Hooray! I have a funny bottle. The proof on the bottle is handwritten, and they miswrote it, so it's crossed out and the actual proof written over it. That's hilarious. Like, nobody's going to notice. %. You can see they wrote 68.22 at first. I can do what I want. All right, we're into the portion of the broadcast where I get confused about new marketing campaigns. This one comes from Jim Beam and Basil Hayden. They literally hand wrote each bottle number. That's cool. This campaign is called The One with the Belt. Basil Hayden's an automatic red flag. The new creative spots are shot in unexpected non-bourbon occasions, inviting viewers to expand their perceptions of what bourbon can be, just as founder and seventh-generation master distiller Booker Noe set out to do over 30 years ago. The One with the Belt, named for its iconic packaging, the copper and silver belt in the center of each Basil Hayden bottle, invites new customers to enjoy a bright, approachable whiskey that challenges the conventional stereotype of whiskey as dark, brooding, and complex. By showcasing occasions typically not linked to bourbon drinking, doesn't that make it sound like you're going to, like, hey, man, we're at a stoplight. You get confused about what is a good bourbon. The campaign positions Basil Hayden as a catalyst for unexpected joy in everyday moments. Emphasizing its versatility, Basil Hayden encourages enjoyment in vibrant cocktails and cheerful gatherings, making whiskey inviting for all. Introducing Basil Hayden as the bourbon that is consistently challenging category preconceptions as the provocateur of the category. Why? It's just 80 proof, like 6-year-old bourbon. The new campaign delivers a fresh visual identity that is bright, joyful, and tells the story during golden hour, featuring its signature serve. No, I'm streaming. The Basil Hayden 75, an unexpected twist on the classic French 75. Oh, okay. I'd try that. Typically challenging should have stopped right there. Yes. I just don't. I don't get this. I'm so confused by this approach. It's unnecessary. And also, if you're going to drink Basil Hayden, you're already drinking Basil Hayden. Like, the market's so weird, man. Basil Hayden at work. Basil Hayden at your nephew's bar mitzvah. I don't know. Anyway. Speaking of Basil Hayden, though, they've apparently got a new 8-year-old bourbon. But isn't it already like 8 years old? I know I said 6, but I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what's happening with Basil Hayden. I'm so confused. It's provocative, Perry, damn it. It's provocative to be problem for the masses. Basil Hayden is prime, looks fancy stuff. Not bad, but not hype worthy at all. No. Also, hello, Emily Chambers. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Okay. Now, speaking of not understanding beaming their age statements, you just have anti-belt bias. Anti-beltite. I'm just gonna, before this next we get into this next story, pour some Wild Turkey 8-year 101 for no particular reason. This new Wild Turkey 8-year 101. New. 8-year. New. It's new. Anyway, on to the next story. Wild Turkey rejects change in new global campaign. Are you saying that's made from a new? I don't know, man. Wild Turkey stands firm with a campaign that rejects change for change's sake, celebrating 100 years of unchanged bourbon-making tradition. The Kentucky bourbon brand launches When You Know It's Right, Don't Change a Damn Thing globally this month, featuring master distiller Jimmy Russell's 71-year legacy and his family's commitment to the original recipe. Now, I know that this is like aimed at the fact that they haven't changed their proof point, even though they went from 80 to 81 for that particular product. They, you know, Jimmy didn't want to compromise on 101. But the whole concept of like, we don't want to like change anything is so funny because they're going through a bunch of changes right now. And not just that, but like new whiskey is a hit with big cats. They're shuttering Master's Keep. Like, they're closing out Master's Keep, right? Beacons is the last release. It just came out, or Beacon, excuse me, which was $300 a bottle, by the way. Wild Turkey rejects modernity and returns back to monk. 118 proof. Blend of 10 and 16-year-old bourbons. No wonder your computer's acting up. You have 50 tabs open. My computer's not acting up. Not anymore. There's a lot to cover. We got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, again, like, this is the last release in Master's Keep. I understand that this is like, you know, trying to move on from what they've already done in favor of what seems to be more of like a project that Bruce is taking the reins on. This Austin Nichols Archives. They're calling it the Gold Foil Edition, 120 proof, 16 years old. I am very excited about this. I'm more excited about this than a lot of the Master's Keep releases that have come out over the past few years. Like this, I'm so excited for what this is. I really hope that it's. I really hope that it's good. I really do. I don't know how expensive it's going to be. It's probably going to be $1 bajillion. But again, to keep going, like, well, we're not changing anything. And here you are, like, closing down a line and opening up a new one. I don't know. It's weird messaging, is all I'm saying. Eight-year 101 is so unbelievably good, though. We do have a bunch of these new Prohibition Collection labels from Buffalo Trace, though. They all dropped today, so we'll go through them kind of quickly because I also got to get to this review. We got the John G. Carlisle Bottled and Bond. Cool. Cove Spring Barrel Proof 127. Cool. Oh, these are all 375s, by the way. Henry Watterson, also at 120. I think it's just a placeholder for the proof, but it's uncut and unfiltered. This is a rye. Let me check and make sure, because Cove Spring should be a bourbon, yeah. So many of these labels are just fine. Walter B. Duffy. I like this label. It's fun. Kentucky Straight Bourbon. 107 proof. Kyle over on the Twitch. What are you doing on Twitch? Hello, Kyle. Good to see you, dude. How are things? He was on Law and Order, correct? Watterson. Did I say the name wrong? No, it is Watterson. And then Kentucky River. We vibrating? Dog, I never stop. This one's a blend of Kentucky straight whiskeys, and it is 100 proof. Rolling Fork's new Bourbon Deluxe. Of course, this is a revival brand that's been coming out for a little while. This one's 16 years old and 126.1 proof. Excited for this, I think. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't had any of the other ones. God, I love Thursdays. Shout out Tylenol. Sealbox 10-year-old double oaked straight bourbon whiskey finished in new toasted French oak barrels. Year plus in French oak. Very cool. Also, Kyle said the Tylenol comment, not me. Deluxe. Sazerac Rye full proof. Makes me wonder if we're going to get, top floor and whatever. 125 proof. I fell behind. Am I on a delay? I feel like things are operating at a weird pace. I don't know. Daniel Weller spelt wheat recipe. Great. Another post for people to post. Not that I'll ever see it in the wild. 94 proof. Okay. I don't know what else to say about that one. New Riff High Note, 120.5 proof Kentucky Straight Wheated Whiskey, 6 years old. Excited about that one. They've got another one that is called Duet that is in collaboration with Rheingeist at 100 proof. Rheingeist is a brewery up in Cincinnati. Enough WTF BT? Dog, I don't know. Speaking of WTF, here's one from Stitzel Weller. 30 Stitzel Reserve. 31-year-old. You're not on a delay. It's just deja vu all over again. I feel like I've said that before. 31-year-old bourbon, 90 proof, limited edition special release, Louisville, Kentucky. Selected by Nicole Austin. Still no idea where the heck this is from. Anyway, that's all the news that's fit to print. Time for us to move into reviews. That's called Vujade. think you might be right. All right. Got to clean out a couple of these glasses because I had, drinks in them. Yes, Vuja Day is the feeling you've had deja vu before. Wait, really? Vuja Day is a menswear line from Japan. No, I'm joking. It seems like Vuja Day is a real thing. Something familiar viewed with a fresh view. I thought Vuja Day sang Smooth Operator. All right. There are 4 whiskeys I've got that were all sent to me by Three Chord. Probably shouldn't start there. Probably shouldn't start there. Here's the one I'm going to start with. Ready for the Three Chord review. Hit me with your best shot. We are starting with Hard Pressed. It is Tennessee straight bourbon whiskey. This features Cordell Jackson on the front label. She wasn't waiting for permission. She built her own damn stage. Woo. In the 1950s, she founded Moon Records in Memphis, becoming one of the first women in America to own, produce, and release her own music. While the industry told her to sit down and stay quiet, Cordell cranked the amp and let her cherry red guitar speak volumes. Volume 1 of Hard Pressed is a tribute to her legacy. On a live chat, I once told Neil Giraldo that bourbon was a math battlefield. That's amazing. I'm going to start with this guy. Again, this is 100 proof. Not bottled in bond. What I love about these labels, by the way, is that, and the bottle shape as well, is that it acts like a record that you have to put on your shelf as if it is in a record collection. It is a little cumbersome, but it looks cool. What are you going to do? I love the aesthetics of it. It smells like cherries, too. I'll be very honest with you. Cherry, vanilla bean. But just a whiff of That's a turnoff for me and my wife. All right, shy guy. Just a whiff of oak, too. Nice and well balanced. All right. Cheers. Thank you to Three Chord as well for sending me all these. I really appreciate it. And thanks for letting me sit down with Neil as well at Bourbon and Beyond a couple weekends ago. If you want to go listen to that interview, it is on part 1 of episode 399, which came out last week on the podcast. And then I did a full sit-down interview as well with Neil a while ago. Goodness gracious, when was that? I actually meant to look that up. I got a chord you can play. Yeah, the new one's what's coming up. Oh, there it is. Episode 154 in 2020. Dang. Wasn't Michter's an all women ran thing at some point? Not all women. But Andrea Wilson is their master blender? Head blender? Can't remember. She's been on the podcast too. She was at the first live show we ever did. All the way back in 2019. I'm still saying you should have AI'd the still photos during the audio-only interview so the mouths moved so we knew who was talking. It's not creepy at all. No, definitely not. Not even a little bit creepy. And I always promote that. Oh, Andrew is great. Okay. Tastes like a coffee and caramel ice cream. It's so viscous. It's so creamy. Oh my goodness. That is so nice. Oh. What's the proof? 100. It's a little spicy. Not alcohol spice, but it's got a bit of spice on the back end of the palate that just kind of like elevates it, like just ever so slightly. I really, really like this. Let's check out the price too, because bum. Hard pressed. Nope. I do not want 3-chord hard rock songs. $35 a bottle. And they are unable to ship to P.O. Boxes, Alaska, Hawaii, Massachusetts, South Dakota, and Utah. Feels weird drinking smooth bourbon nowadays? What do you mean? Okay. That one, awesome. Really enjoyed that one so far. Let's go. Let's go to the triple wood. This one's 90 proof, but this is also a bourbon. However, it is finished in French oak and American oak. Toasted French oak and American oak barrels. Bourbon finished in bourbon. Hey, you like bourbon? I got all the bourbon you need. It's bourbon finished. Plenty of bourbon. And there's bourbon in it. Hey, you know what it tastes like? Bourbon. Those bottles look hard to pour from. They are. But they're super cool. So here's the triple wood. This guy looks like he's in pain. Forgot a few hiccups in there. Wait, where's Big Vic? Big Vic's here? I don't see his comment. I got a whole mess of bourbon in the cellar. This is Guitar Shorty. It didn't show up on screen, but it's in the chat. It's not showing up in the chat. Okay, it's showing up on YouTube. I switched over to YouTube, but it's not showing up on StreamYard. Vic, what's up? I'm so sorry. I didn't see you on StreamYard. Were there other people who were here that I didn't see? I'm gonna feel really bad if I've been here. What am I, French toast? Hang on. Um, I didn't like. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out later. I'm just messing. I was lurking. That's fair. Anyway, it's Guitar Shorty. On the front. Dadgummit. I'm bumping into everything. Big Vic's backyard BS comments are banned from StreamYard since the incident of 2024. This one's for the originals, the ones who did it first and did it loud. Like the pioneers of whiskey and music, Flipside is bold, unapologetic, and rooted in tradition without being stuck in the past. It's a nod to the legends who changed the game. Raise a glass to the OGs, because without them, none of this exists. Volume 1 of Flipside features Guitar Shorty. I have an itch. A wild, electrifying force who tore up stages with his raw tone, fearless flips, and unshakable energy. He never chased the mainstream, but his fire helped shape blues and rock for generations, a true legend for those who know. Which one? Let's see. And this is also $35. And they also do not ship to P.O. Boxes, Alaska, Hawaii, Massachusetts, South Dakota, or Utah. I'm so annoyed that I couldn't see, because I feel like I was. It seems like I was ignoring him, and I was just not. Okay, the finishing is not overly ripe on this one. It's actually kind of got a banana note to it. A bit of sugar as well. It's a bit savory. Overall, it kind of hits in some weird places for a bourbon, but low-key, a pear wine finish sounds kind of nice. I would love to try that. I could be wrong, but I think Vic pops in, says hi, and pops out most of the time. I think you're right, Tony. I'm paranoid now. I keep worrying that I'm gonna miss something. Can we call Young Hazard Bourbon finished? Hang on. Can we call Young Hazard Bourbon finished in gasoline? Oh, do you mean like... Okay. You want young... You mean hazmat. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you. You broke Perry's brain. You really did for a second, because it didn't... It just didn't make... Like, this punctuation made way more sense. Young Hazard or hazmat bourbon called Bourbon Finished in Gasoline. I mean, I understand. I understand the joke, but nobody would allow you to call anything finished that isn't. Unless it's like a tater sticker and you did it on a pick or something. But even then, everybody would be like, what? You finished it in gasoline? The gasolina? You finished it in gasolina? Why you finish it in the petroleum? Is this sponsored by BP? Hey, what's going on, Zopher? What's up, Eagle Eye Perry, finder of Oktoberfest beers in the cooler case? Good to see you, brother. Zopher is referring to something I haven't even been able to talk about on the podcast yet. But a couple weekends ago, he and Tony Bag of Donuts, along with Fred, were in town. And I met them at Wallace Station. And we were getting lunch, and I was like, I'm gonna have a beer with lunch. Like, come on, it's time for beer. And I knew Wallace Station had beer anyway. And it's Oktoberfest time, and so I asked for a Oktoberfest beer. Zopher didn't see it, and so he was like, I'm gonna give me an Oktoberfest beer too. So he also paid for mine, which was super nice of him. Wallace Station, that sounds like all my whiskey meetups at the local Shell station. Anyway. That was a recent what have I been drinking recently, which was just a nice a nice Oktoberfest beer. It was what was it? Zopher, what was it? I can't think of it now. Henry McKenna 10 tastes like aged Dant or JTS Brown. It stands out like a sore thumb in a blind. I don't know which 7-year is which yet, but they are hands down better. But they are, like, isn't that the point of Henry McKenna 10, that it is just like the premium version of Dant or JTS Brown? Weird, all my whiskey meetups are in the dumpster behind a gas station. Those holes in the stalls are for pouring bourbon blindly. I've spoken to Zopher, and he doesn't sound like that, Perry. Bad impressions. Do bourbon bites now. I do love how there is usually one moment in every stream where there's at least one commenter, one chatter, who's like, I'm going to do everything I can to get this guy canceled. Hofbrauhaus, that's what it was. Just put your arm in your sleeve, it's fine. Well, if the one-armed gay guy said it's fine to do a bad impression of it. I saw a Donald J. Trump Freedom Finish bourbon pick one time. That combination of words almost gave me an aneurysm. Now finished in used Tylenol barrels. We used to be a real country, man. I guess I didn't realize that until now. Age doesn't always mean good. Of course, they are single barrels, so que sera, sera. I mean, very true. I like the taste of freedom, but not like that. Dog. I'm not going to read that. All right, I'm moving on. I'm moving back into the triple wood. That's not what I meant. It's not what I meant. It's really nice. It's a bit sweeter. It's got that, like, grapey oak note to it. Acetaminophen? Is that right? Gonna get Timbit put on an FBI list for being mean. Y'all are trash pandas. It's impressive and I love it. Dog, I've said free Palestine on the internet multiple times. Somebody's watching me. Hard to go back into triple wood after someone bourbon bites referencing glory holes. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. You said sweeter, and I thought of the Dr. Pepper commercial. It's the sweet one. Great comment for your dad to show up. It's fine. Papa Ritter's here. Freedom costs $1.05. I forgot about that Dr. Pepper commercial. You got to stream more often. I need these conversations daily. I would. Okay, so genuinely, if I could stream more, I would. We can all drink the Tylenol. I would absolutely stream more if I could. The only. What did that mean? I said I was. Wait. What did what mean? The great comment for your dad to show up. Is that what you're talking about? Because I was talking about how Clifton made a reference to glory holes, and that was a weird thing. Yeah, good comment for you to show up. It's that Clifton was talking about glory holes. And I read that comment out loud. Oh, he missed it. So we didn't have to say anything. It's like getting in trouble at your friend's house. I'm ashamed. The thing is, though, like, it's like getting in trouble at your friend's house and then no, it's like saying something you shouldn't at your friend's house, but your friend's parents don't hear it, and then you just tell on yourself because you're like, "No, what if they heard it?" They're like, "We didn't hear it." But thanks for letting us know. Just don't say it again. Gasoline finished hazmat bourbon received through a dirty gas station's bathroom glory hole. That's an aneurysm. 100%. That's what that was like. Yeah, for sure. It's like, I could just be quiet. I'm not going to get caught. Oh no, Dad's coming. I better say something. Do you know what I just said? I was talking about a glory hole. I'm 32. Clifton, please get out of my house. You're married. My friend's mom tried really hard to be the cool mom. I didn't ever really have friends like that. Blame the one-armed gay guy. Don't worry, Clifton. We love you. My mom did her best not to be the cool mom, and she won. Zopher's holding down the Twitch fort. It's up to him if he wants to come over to the YouTube side of things. I'm letting him decide. That is an Alfonso call. It's okay. Twitch might go the way of the dodos in before too long. Who's to say? Triple wood. Excellent. Very good. Moving right along. to a product that probably should not exist. Based on... Okay. The... Hey, there's Zopher. Based on the TTB... Wait, the dodos are gone. Tony, I got good news and bad news for you. The bad news is they've been gone for a while. The good news is we've got gene replication. The problem is we'd have to just, latch it onto, like a different bird. Probably. I want a mixology section for Twitch or beer and spirits. I would love that. It'd be a lot better than just like just chatting. Because it gets lost. It like actively gets lost. Colosso Biosciences has made a significant step towards its de-extinction by successfully culturing pigeon primordial germ cells, which are precursors to eggs and sperm. Interesting. The dodo's closest relative. Really? Why waste gas when there's turpentine? I've been saying that for years. I would start a stream on bourbon tasting and cocktail making. Absolutely. Nothing a little CRISPR technology can't handle? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. All right, next. This is called Riot. This is a double bonded blend of straight rye whiskeys. What does that mean? Well, it's two ryes that are both bottled and bond, but they were distilled in two different locations. One is in Bardstown Bourbon Company, and the other at MGP. This isn't whiskey for the quiet. Riot is a double bonded blend of straight rye whiskeys for the ones... also, sorry. Forgot to show the label. It's the Darts. This is also a $35 bottle. This isn't whiskey for the quiet. Riot is a double bonded blend of straight rye whiskeys for the ones who own their voice and never back down. It's for the ones who know that revolution starts in basements, on scratched up bar stools, and with ink-stained hands. Riot Rye. No rules, no compromises. Just pour, drink, and turn it all the way up. I predict a Riot, a lesser-known song from a famous 2000s band. I don't know that song. And then there's We're Not Gonna Take It by Quiet Riot. It's a great label. But somehow they were able to maintain bottled and bond because they listed the distillation sites of both bottled and bond ryes. That's a Kings of Leon song. Interesting. But anyway, both distillation sites for both of the ryes that went into this. And it does actually say bottled and bond on the label. So it is 100 proof. What is happening here? It is minty. It is citrusy. It's a little bit It's a little bit French vanilla-y. Sometimes smelling my bourbon reminds me of that South Park episode where the Californians sniff their own fumes. That's fantastic. By the way, thank you all so much for being here tonight. If you haven't liked the stream by now, that's not the way I meant to say that. If you haven't liked the stream yet, please do so. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet already. And come back every Thursday evening at 7 o'clock Eastern for more of this. My nose is not great. It's a lot of effort to smell anything, so I can't pick up much stuff. But it's like, oh, yeah, that's nice. Is that a result of COVID? Or just not a good nose? All right. Allergies plus I think I have deviated septum. Oh, okay. Gotcha. That is so nice. You gotta lay off the booger sugar. Interestingly enough, I feel like this reads more Bardstown Bourbon Company than it does MGP. I, of course, have no idea what the blends are on here, but it's at least hinting at a little bit more towards Bardstown Bourbon Co. Which I know a lot of us are not upset about. And again, I believe. Oh no, I was incorrect. This one is $50. And then the last one that we're going to do, Strange Collab, is also $50, and we'll get there. And there it is. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think he does, Mike. I don't see a single reason why he would want to rephrase that. I mean, the abbreviation of the company is BBC. He's just stating that he loves B as in Bardstown, B as in bourbon, and C as in company. So if he says he loves BBC and we're on a bourbon live stream, we should all assume that he loves Bardstown Bourbon Company. What else could there be? Whoever thought that was a good idea? Hey. I don't have a follow-up. I also add the co. I also say BB co. In all fairness. Anytime I'm talking about Bardstown Bourbon Company, I always say BB co if I'm trying to abbreviate it. David. BBC co. I think we're losing the plot here. We're losing the plot. Let's get back to the whiskey. Oh, Shy Guy, you were asking about me streaming more. I would absolutely. Okay. I would love to stream more. If I could stream more than once a week, I would. I genuinely do not have the time. If I could, that's what it gets down to. I'm already slammed with everything else that I have going on. It's nearly impossible for me to do. There are some like random times where I'm able to get in some more streams, but very, very rarely does it happen. Very rarely. I'm effing kids always get in the way of fun and frivolity. Yeah. Our random Twitch gaming times. Yeah, I've been saving Donkey Kong Bonanza for Twitch. And I haven't had time to get on Twitch to play it yet. What is happening here? So it's one of I'm just gonna have to play it at this point, because I'll play it and then on the off chance I get to play it on stream sometime, I will. But I love streaming. It's one of my favorites. Even when I like bourbon and bourbon accessories. I'll sell bourbon. No, I can't. I can't do a good Hank Hill. I gotta stick to Herbert. Let me try the bourbon. Don't worry, Perry. Only 17 more years until you can legally make them fend for themselves. You can always go over to David Ritter's house for sustenance. Or they can always go over to David Ritter's house for sustenance. Dog, at that point, they're not going to want to have anything to do with them either. Herbert loves BBC too. I think I like the bourbon ever so slightly more than I do the rye, but they are neck and neck. Oh, the triple wood is so good, though. All right. I got one more. It's the Strange Collab. With the one and only Mr. Neil Giraldo on the label. Because when you own your own bourbon company, you may as well put yourself on the front. Neil Giraldo has never been afraid to disrupt in the recording studio or on stage, constantly pushing musical boundaries and challenging both himself and his audience. Collab. Once again, Strange Collab is a tribute to the late Johnny Strange. What? Pictured below. Oh, he's on the back of the label. You can barely see him. He's holding up a sign that says "Stop Genocide," which I vibe with. I have a Buffalo Trace stave piece that has a circle dug into it for placing your Glen on. I've never found a reason to use it. You should... Oh, wait. You do that voice from Family Guy scarily too well. I know. I'm not reading that one. Strange Collab is a tribute to the late Johnny Strange, a man who spent his short life doing the same, pushing limits and lifting others up in his own fearless way. Together, their spirits collide in a bold blend that dares to be different. So this is Kentucky straight bourbon finished in Pinot Noir barrels. It is 99 proof. I love this label. And I have the one of two because the first one broke. And I had to get my buddy Travis to remake it for me. Perry Pour Glass to cap this off. Those Evan Williams single barrel vintages are like the best bang for buck bourbons lately for cheap bourbon. They are awesome. I need to get one that has a 2016 vintage because that's my anniversary year. Look at that color. That is a crazy color. My anniversary is 2020. There you go. They're everywhere lately in Indianapolis and run like 25 to 30. Dang. Speaking of gasoline finished, right? Whoa! All right. That needs a second to open up because on first pour, it is nothing but Pinot Noir. I'm not joking. It is straight up just the wine. That's insane. I will put some water in it in a minute. But about to taste like a brandy. I'm thinking a couple of those bottles just might have to find their way over across town. All four of them will, for sure. The Pinot's starting to dissipate a little bit, but it's insane how strong the influence of the Pinot Noir was on fresh crack. Like, just no question about it that this was a finished bourbon. This is my new method for trying to air out a bourbon. now that it has gotten a minute of airtime. Oh, by the way, this is $50 a bottle. Not bad. Not bad. Inspired by the Johnny Strange Foundation. This moment, amateur photographer Michael Brannon captured a moment in rock history with this shot featuring a young Geraldo alongside Rick Derringer. Friggin' awesome, man. It's a blend of 4 to 7-year-old Kentucky straight bourbons finished for 3 to 4 months in Pinot Noir barrels from Strange Family Vineyards in Santa Barbara. 75% corn, 21% rye, and 4% malted barley. Now, I know that is the... I know that's the traditional mash bill that Barton uses for their sourced bourbon, but I am 90% sure. Why did that say visit distiller site and it took me to nothing? Oh, it just took... That's not the distiller site. They don't distill anything. I'm 90% sure that this is Bardstown Bourbon Company sourced. Spirit's Fingers. Let me see if I can get you a... No, I don't want to... BBC Strikes Again. Oh, boy. Okay. So again, it is very clearly finished. However, there's graham cracker note. I mean, it's kind of just a s'more note on the nose. It's very toasty. It's really robust. It's an incredibly robust nose. I'm really, really, really impressed with this one. I cannot get over this nose. All right. It's a journey. It really starts off as that finish. The wine finish is very prevalent. The wine finishing is very prevalent on the finish itself. But it is a roller coaster. What did I miss? I got pulled into a phone call with Chilean cousins. I'm on the Strange Collab. The Pinot Noir finished bourbon. You missed everything, Tony. We can't even repeat it. You are right. You are correct there, Zopher. It starts softer. I greatly dislike wine. This one might not be for you then. If you like oakier, the Triple Wood's probably going to be for you. If you just like a straightforward bourbon, then the hard pressed is going to be your best option. And then if you like a really interesting rye, the Riot is going to be what you go for. I love, too, that the Riot is a pink label instead of the green that you typically see. I like a lot of... I'm pretty sure we know by this point. Shy guy. It's just it's nice to see that, a company is not leaning into the green for a rye product, but and Pinot Noir can be overpowering as a finish as well. I think that it strikes a nice balance. However, if you are sensitive to wine finishing, excuse me, this could get in your way. That mid palate into the finish is exceptional, though. This is why we blind things. Everything I thought was wrong. Heaven Hill Bottle Bond 7-1, and I had McKenna and Old Fitz backwards, or my dad did. Clifton also likes a lot of wood. Yeah, we knew that too. Well, this was fun. Let me go backwards a little bit. The rye has opened up a lot. How do you drink backwards? Spit it back up? Yeah, I make myself vomit, and then I drink that again. And that's how I get a really good idea of what it is that I've been consuming. I'm sorry, that was horrible. I can't believe I said that out loud. Imagine that being your shtick as a reviewer. I think that's against terms of service on every platform. Posting yourself regurgitating anything. I know that it's against Twitch TOS. Always room for new channels. It's called the Bourbon Purge. The Burge. Sometimes you just hate yourself for saying things. Sometimes you just wish you could take things back. It's like those wine spitters, but more extreme. Yeah, it's just two guys standing behind a bar. Everything's completely normal, but they stick their fingers down their throats. All right, I'm shutting that down. We're not talking about that anymore. I hate myself even when I don't say. That's a shirt that you would get at Walmart. Ugh. Oh, you know what? I'm going to pour a little bit more of the triple wood. Bag of Donuts Blind Flights, where I get all the samples wrong. I spilled some when I opened the cork. Speaking of, drinking high-proof whiskey when my acid reflux is flaring up feels like that, though. Amen to that, dude. Getting older and being well, if you want to take care of your acid reflux, all you have to do is stop drinking alcohol and eating spicy food and don't eat chocolate and don't eat anything that isn't boiled. It's okay. This isn't bourbon. It's piss. Takes another sip. Tonight we're tasting Heaven Hill, but I pour all Jack Daniels. Yeah, I mean that's how I feel too. It's like I'd almost rather suffer the consequences. Like I hate to be that way. Like it sucks to be a curmudgeon about it. It's like I want to enjoy my life. Leave me alone. I want to drink my whiskey and eat my hot wings. But I do feel like that though. Like I don't know how much time I have left. What am I supposed to do? I guess you having kids makes it a bit different. I live for me, period. I mean, it does. It does. But at the same time, like, acid reflux is, you know. And also, like, I still, you know, I don't eat like a madman, and I drink in moderation still. The problem with that, Shy Guy, though, is there's a cancer risk with drinking alcohol in general. So, what are you supposed to do? You know? I'm of the mind your body tells you things up to us to listen. I mean, that's completely true. You're exactly right, Sofer. I live in California. Everything is a cancer risk. Existing in California can be a cancer risk. I live for my wife and dogs. I don't care about me. I mean, yeah. I joke, but like literally everything that I do is to support my family. Weird, my body tells me to eat healthy and exercise, but my mind tells me nah. I'm looking forward to my yearly physical tomorrow morning. Oh, Papa Ritter. Have fun. Cough, cough. Anyway. Cough couch is very funny, though. JD Vance enters the chat. Cough couch. What you don't know is I love to get on that couch and cough. I'm a big couch cougher. Anyway. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Other people are streaming. I want you guys to go to watch them as well. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in to Timbip Live. Thank you so much to Three Chord. Is bourbon better than therapy? No, go to therapy. Absolutely go to therapy. If you're questioning that, go to therapy. I spent many years in therapy. I should probably go back to therapy because therapy is amazing. Tips and bits for this week. Go to therapy. If you don't know what tips and bits are, listen to the podcast. I love you guys. I will see you next week. I don't think I have anything for a little while. No, I don't have anything for a while. It's been fun and scary. What's been scary? But thank you to Three Chord so much again for sending me these bottles. They are fantastic. Acid reflux. I'll see you guys next week. Go listen to this week's episode of the podcast if you haven't done so already. And check out next week's episode because that is episode 400. Ooh. See y'all real soon. Until then, I love you. Have a good night. Go watch Cliffy in an hour. I'm Perry. This is Tim Bip Live. Bye.